what is kind of a normal, because when you say you take time off, you're not necessarily like not working out or staying keep taking care of yourself still. You're still, in some way, shape, or form, it sounds like being active. What is a kind of an off season day look for like for you from a training perspective? I know you mentioned kind of the layout of
Yeah.
it. What does that look
Yeah. It's about 5,000 calories less of work. Um, so
like? 1,000
I
calories a ton.
it's just a lot less work. I'll still push it in workouts and send it pretty hard if it's appropriate and relative to that type of workout.
Mhm.
Um, but I'm only training once a day, and like I said, it may only be 45 minutes and if I'm lucky, I can get 90 minutes in.
Okay.
Um, Nutritionally, similarly to those coincide. So the caloric output and input and yada yada, those are, you can just imagine. So because I'm not um, working 5,000 calories, I don't need to put the 5,000 calories back in.
Mhm.
So nutritionally, I don't eat as much. Um, I eat 2 to 3 meals a day. Um, I tend to back off carbs quite a bit in my off season.
Okay.
Um, and so I'm much higher fat. Protein stays about the same. Carbs, starchy carbs almost go away. I eat a lot more like just fruit,
Mhm.
and that seems to be sufficient in having enough sugar in the tank.
Yeah.
Um, to one, so that my body's not, I don't want to lose like my the way my body's able to respond to carbohydrates and utilize them. Um, so I think it's important to still kind of keep them in and have them regularly and just kind of help with managing your blood sugar and your sensitivities to that. I'm just not eating like huge bowls of rice with dextrose sprinkled on it.
I get that, or
Yeah,
Gatorade or something like that, right?
yeah, no Gatorades, no sugar, like just sugar and starches, and rice and potatoes. I essentially just I don't eat those as much. They still might work their way in, but it's more so like carnivore plus fruit.
Mhm.
Whatever carnivore even means nowadays, I'm not sure. I don't like, adhere to any diets or anything like that. So I make sure I get enough protein in. I always make sure I eat protein first, and then I will just kind of eat fruit to meet my needs. I used to wear a glucose monitor, and I learned a lot wearing it. And
Interesting.
pretty much anytime you're, this is going to be pretty general. It might even piss someone off. It's so general. If you're sad, if you're unmotivated, if you're cranky, if you're tired, whatever, like if you just don't feel good and like yourself, you probably need some sugar. Now, how you put that back in the tank is really important,
Right.
and type of sugar. I'm saying that generally as well. I don't necessarily mean like powdered sugar, but it's not. I'm not excluding that either. um, so, um, gosh, what was I saying with that?
The glucose monitor and
Yeah, so
being able.
the glucose monitor taught me quite a bit of and helped me correlate my my mood to my caloric needs.
Mhm.
And I'll hit my proteins, and then I will just um, manage my carbohydrate intake with fruit throughout the day based off of my feelings, if you will. So if I'm feeling a little tired and I've hit my protein, I will go eat an apple or a banana. If I'm
Mhm.
feeling like a little sluggish or just not motivated, like I know now that that most likely is something I can correlate to my blood sugar levels,
Yep.
and I need to get some carbs back in. And I always make sure that I eat a protein first so that I don't end up with just huge upsets in my insulin and blood sugar levels.
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's big. One of the things, and this is not for everybody, right? Like I've been training pretty intensely recently, and I was just depleted. My workouts weren't going well. I was trying to stay around 300 grams of carbs, 330 grams of carbs a day, which was just way too low for the kind of training I was doing. And I started throwing in a big scoop of Gatorade before and a big scoop of Gatorade after, and drastically improved. But again, that's not something you want to do unless you're training
You're
that
using it
right.
unless you're using it.
And it's
Yeah.
surrounding the workout too. So I fuel, burn it, and then, kind of fuel back up. And it's helped me cognitively. It's helped me
Oh
physically.
yeah.
My muscles have been more full, which is, it never something I really dealt with until I started doing CrossFit, of like just fueling enough. And then there are times where I'll overeat a little bit, and then times where because I prefer to not eat a ton. I don't really love the way I feel when I'm eating a ton. So I prefer to fast and all that. But then you start after a month or so, maybe even less, seeing that performance drop off. You're just not feeling yourself, all that. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying with the glucose monitor and whatnot, and knowing how to read your mood with that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And there you guys have it too. Like you really don't even need it.
Mhm.
Like it was cool to have the correlation,
Oh yeah.
uh, but you got the 101 course in managing your blood sugar levels. Eat a protein before you have a carb, and anytime you're just not feeling yourself, like a Snickers commercial, um,
Grab a Snickers.
like grab a Snickers, just have a protein before you eat it, and it will help out much more in regards to just kind of sustained energy and not just like spiking things up. Because yeah, if you can keep that level,
Mhm.
that also I would correlate that to just being in a steady mood.
Yeah.